Good morning, everyone. This is Becky here at Aunt Beck's Creations. Sorry, I had something I had to do. So we're going to do a 5x7 mail art piece this morning. And I've pulled out a couple of those thrifted 5x7 canvas panels. But I also cut a piece of just recycled chipboard. It's flexible. And the reason I did this is you can't for me to mail these to Canada, anywhere outside the United States, it's $20 to mail it. But they told me if it was flexible, it could go like just a 1 ounce envelope or postcard. And postcards can be up to, I think, 6.5 by or something like by 11. This is going to be 5x7, just like my little canvases. And I got that, and whichever one we finish, I will finish out and mail to someone on my list that wanted some happy mail art. And now we're going to pick out a deck. These are my decks of prompt cards. So which ones do we want to do today? Do we want to do these little guys? This is my little deck. I like the ones that are in the candy box. So those are just ones I've made. So let's pull this one out. We'll do 30 dozen prompts. We might not do all of the prompts because this is basically we're working on a background. I'm just going to put this back on the shelf. And I will put the cards back later. So you just need something 5x7, either a canvas or a piece of chipboard. It could be a cereal box if you sand the surface. Hi, Heather. So we'll pull these out. This was made out of one of those little Russell Stover's candy box and just strips of Painty Paper that I had left over from a project, and I just used them to cover the piece, and I thought it turned out pretty cool. And then this is the deck. So let's see here. And this deck was again made from several Dirty Dozen prompt sessions that I just cut up and made a deck of cards out of. That's why some of them look different. So we'll shuffle these up and we'll start doing some prompts. And my idea is to kind of focus on one, and then have these other two on the side to either put paint on and then, spread it out. Use it like a palette or a roll-off. So maybe we'll have one that's a palette and one that's a roll-off. And I had canvas started, and I can't find that canvas now. I don't know what I've done with it. So we're going to call that good enough. I guess I should write these down so I can put them in. And here's all that paper I had left over from cutting the quotes off that calendar. So we'll put these will be our April 8th. April 8th prompts. I need that big pen I had earlier. I don't know what I did with it. Man, everything, once I touch it this morning, it disappeared. I hope that doesn't continue all day. And Bernadette's already been out and done her potty. I'm having to take her out on the leash. I can't just put her in the yard right now because half of the yard is, well, not half. The lower gate area is not put all the way back together. We did all that we could, but we are all three tired and sore. Greg actually helped us some, or we would have not gotten as far as we did, because he's in his 30s and he's just strong as an ox, and his dad and I are just getting to an age where our strength is waning, and we keep trying to tell him that we're going to start needing his help more to do the physical things. But I don't think he wants to accept that mom and dad are getting older. I mean, I'm 67 Scott will be 65 in June. So 10 years we'll be in our 70s. So he needs to, yeah. Yeah. I was going to mail a canvas to Janet Nash, and they told me it was going to be $20 because it wasn't flexible. So that's why I'm doing this, so I can mail a regular piece of art. That's the only way I'll be able to do it, is on something like this. It's just crazy what they want to charge, all because this was a firm. Anyway, let's do some prompts. We got part of the fence. We got 1 8-foot section of the fence back up, and it's painted on the back side. I stained it with the gray acrylic stain, and we did that because once it's nailed up, the hot water heater's in the way. But if we don't put the stain on it, then the carpenter bees will just, even though it's treated lumber, they will devour it. They don't care. So I stained it to kind of slow them down on the back side. And so now the side that's facing into the yard, I still have to stain that side. So that's got to be stained. I got to stain the last post we placed because we had to delay putting one of the posts in until because we had to go get another fence post basically. And so the gate area and a small section on the other side of where the gate will be. And we're putting in a smaller gate this time because we figure we never do the drive. We never do the big wide opening down there. We never open all of it. So we're just going to have a walk-through gate down there. And so that'll have to wait till next weekend because there's just no way we can work on it. All right. I'll quit yabbering. Add flowers. Add flowers. Now, you can use images from a magazine if you wanted to. Just cut out flowers. And if I'd been thinking about that and had that prompt in mind earlier, I would do that. But what I'm going to do is I have some punched out flowers here. I'm just going to glue them down and just cover it in flowers. Let me grab those. Oh, golly. Let's see. This says flat flowers. And I'll need my glue brush. So you're going to have to give me a minute to limp into the kitchen and get it. Because, yeah, my knee hurts. We kind of overdid a little bit. And I'm going to use the gel medium. I keep my glue brush in water. So maybe we'll do one canvas and one on the piece of cardboard. So I'm going to move this over this way a little bit and bring one of these canvases. And then I'll have the third canvas, this for like cleanup. So I'm just going to glue some of these down. So hi, Kimberly. Hi, Jen. Good morning, everybody. Oh, I must have used a bunch of these up. I thought I had more than these. I think I have another container of these, unless I've used them up. Punched flowers. That's the one I want. I grabbed the wrong one. It's taking me forever to do just the first prompt here. That's all right. It's Monday. We can go a little slower. All right. I don't want anything dimensional. I'm just going to glue some flat flowers on here. And I don't want white ones. I want them to show up. Well, those are mostly all white. That's kind of glossy. I think I'll skip that one. I think I'm just going to get a bunch of these on here and then kind of be random. Those are a little on the big side for these little canvases. And it doesn't matter if they overlap at all. They can go off the edge and I'll trim them away. Some Painty Paper ones. Some with something from somewhere. All right, let me just get some out on here. Oh, that's on there already. We'll put, well, it doesn't matter. So what's everybody doing this morning? I did the video assigning who you mail to, not really partners, because you're gonna send to somebody different than who you're gonna receive from. So just look for your name and send to the person that's after your name, only your name. So it's not confusing at all. You just have to focus on who you mail to. And when you receive yours, if you'll let me know it's been received, that would be awesome. Oh, this is a good way to use all these punched flowers up. We'll end up with a cool background right away. And I'm just going to keep going until it's full. All right, so that'll get me going. I'm just going to slide these off here and slide these off there. And we'll start sticking these down. I'm still in my jammies too. I haven't bothered to get dressed yet. And that's why Dee Dee says, make sure you clean that. And I meant to bring a paper towel over here to get rid of a bunch of this water. Oh, I have a tissue here. Doesn't work the same, but it'll work. I don't feel like walking to the kitchen, even though it's only, what, 10 feet away. Just not feeling it today. That area where I've got the torn meniscus, it swelled up good yesterday. I may regret this, but we'll find out. Learn as you go. Oop. No, no, no. Other way. Flip over. Don't glue down. There we go. Scott was like, oh, I wish I could just stay home and get in the recliner. We really worked hard this weekend trying to get that fence done. And then the neighbor's pregnant cat came waddling through and she started following us everywhere we went in the yard. And it was like, what is going on? And I said, oh, I bet she's in labor. And she climbed under Bernadette's doghouse and had her kittens under the doghouse. So now I feel responsible. So I'll have to find homes for those kittens, and because they don't care. They've got a bunch of cats in the house that when the house starts getting too full for them, they turn the cats out, which I think is just awful. But we can't really afford to adopt all these cats, so something's going to have to give. I don't want to be the complete total crazy cat lady here. When their cats try to come in our house, I say, nope, we're full in there. We're full. Scott calls that little black cat Emma Jean. I don't know why. He just does. He said it fits her. We need a new shed. It was rotting when we moved in 15 years ago. Only thing is, together. Oh, a nice new shed is going to look boring. It's a fresh palette. I'm getting gel medium all over this table. It'll be all right because the label covers up the entire back of the postcard anyway, or most of it. Because I just print the postage here at the house for these. A postal scale is worth its weight because if you buy your postage through the USPS website, it's cheaper than going to the post office, for anybody that doesn't know that. A good bit cheaper too, like over $1.50 cheaper. I just glued that one down upside down. This actually will work out good because I will have time for one to dry while I'm putting flowers on the other one. And most of these will get covered up and look more like texture in the background than they will flowers. The birds are singing. They want me to fill the feeders. They're like, hey, lady, these are empty. And we had a hawk up in our magnolia tree yesterday. It's just, we couldn't see him for all the leaves, but he was up there just laughing at us right above our heads. And I told Scott, I said, I bet he's up there aiming for us. If we feel something on our heads, we'll know it was that hawk. And I'm putting these down with no real plan. So they're just like flowers in the wild. The only time you see flowers in a straight row is when a man has planted them. All right, that one's good enough. I'll get that tissue. There's dogs barking out there. Somebody must be walking early before they have to go to work. I used to hate when I'd leave for work out at Michael's. I had to be there on Wednesdays at 2 a.m. because that's when the truck came in. And there would be this girl that she would be out running at that hour, but she wouldn't wear a reflective vest. And I don't know how many times I nearly hit her. Congrats, foster mom. Yeah, I know. I'm going to sit down because my leg is, ooh. This is going to take a while. We'll see. I know Anne showed where during our crafting chat, we did put the image behind the gel plate. That was fun. I did it too. I posted pictures of mine. I did a lady and a turtle. And Pam, Stitch It Pam, she did it too. And she did a toucan that turned out really cool looking. So that was fun. This, I was going to promote Shannon because tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern, I will be on Art Junkie's channel. I'm going to be her first guest. and we're going to be crocheting from the lounge chair. Although I don't know if I'll be in the lounge chair or not. I can maybe set that up. I'll see if I can do that so we're both in lounge chairs. Once this dries, I will cut these off. That little cat, she's tiny little cat. She was so big. I told Scott I'm getting worried about her because if those kittens come get any bigger in there, she's gonna they're gonna be born ready to go. And then I started worrying about whether she'd be able to give birth to them, but she went under there and did her business on her own. There wasn't no way we could even watch really because that doghouse doesn't sit that far above the ground. And she could have gone inside the doghouse, but she went under it. I do want to go to Walmart today. I want to see if I can get some more of the Red Heart Granny and a Skein in that kind of greens and black. I keep going to Joann's thinking they'll get more of it in, but they haven't yet. And I don't really want to order it online and have to pay extra. And I think Walmart carries it too. So I was thinking I might run over there. Yeah, Shannon, for anybody that doesn't know, Shannon's been around a long time. She and I have been friends online longer than Mary and I have been. Because I've been on 11 years and Shannon's been on just about that amount of time too. But she got ill and actually was in a coma for 3 months. And because her channel had not gotten any activity, they took her subscribers away and all that she'd worked on before she got sick was gone. So Shannon is basically starting over, you guys. So she just now got to her 1,000. I know she needed like 9 more watch hours to get fully vetted, I guess. So if you guys could come tonight and subscribe to Shannon, she does all kinds of stuff like me, but her main focus right now is crochet, although she does do her cards and, art pages. She used to be just Art Junkie, but now she's Art Junkie Crochet and More, I think, because she does all kinds of stuff. Her current focus is crochet. She has set up a program with her local hospital where she used to work for blankets for the kids that are in the treatment in the hospital on the special needs floor. For emotional issues and eating issues and that kind of thing. So that's her focus, and she is in Canada. So if you're in Canada and want to crochet a blanket to donate, get with Shannon and she'll, give you all the details. Exactly. She has a video. If I can remember, I will put that on my Facebook page, the video talking about Chow, in case, somebody is interested. Hi, Teresa. Good morning. Teresa got a canvas. She was the next person on the list. So the first prompt was add flowers. So we're getting a flowery background. It could look cool to just cover the whole thing in flowers, but I think we're good. Let me wipe this top off. I need to clean it. Dee Dee says if you leave it too long, it'll glue itself shut. All right, so I'm going to put my flowers up. And what you can do when you're doing your prompt games, whatever, like I've got flowers now, but if you just keep your flower container out, at the end, you could add more flowers back to it so they'd be at a different layer within your prompts. Does that make sense? And you could even turn them into your focal image. So that might be what we do. So let's do prompt 2, right? 2. And 2 says, use scraps. Use scraps. So it looks like we're going to glue some more down. Let me get some scraps. I'm just going to grab a random bag from over here. Oh, this has got some cool scraps. I've got some of this cool paper, and what I'm going to do is where I had punched stuff out, I'm going to pull that off from here. Just cut all where it's already been punched a little bit. And then I can keep that big piece to use later. And I can use this here. And we'll just put some of this down on the thing too. And the back side is interesting, but the front side has little bits of golden stuff on it. So we'll pull this back out. We were in the shower. All right, let's just glue some of these down. We were out there working on that fence, and the neighbor, he was doing something in his garage, and their little boy's like 3 years old, and I kept hearing him say, "Daddy, Daddy, Daddy, Daddy," and then I'd hear his dad, and he'd say, "I need help." His dad was trying to work on something, and he just kept needing help. He'd even change his voice when his daddy finally answered him. It was so cute. He wanted to know where to put the recycling, and then he couldn't get the lid open because he's too short to reach the top, because it's in like one of those rolling trash cans is our recycling. This is going to make an interesting background. Oh, Teresa, thank you, sweetheart. That was so nice. Thank you so much. I'll put that toward my next field trip to All About Fabrics. I might go up for next month's weekend, because you know that warehouse of fabrics is only open one weekend a month. Usually it's the first weekend of the month, and I've been kind of hankering to go, and Scott said, "Well, I'll take you." So I just don't want to go on my own in our old car because I just don't trust it anymore. Our older truck is in better shape than our Lucerne. Our Lucerne is just a headache and a half right now. And we know why the check engine light's on, and we're just not willing to spend $1,000 more on a car that's worth $1,000. So when Scott can start drawing on some of his retirement, we're going to get him a new car to drive to work, and I'll get the truck back. I actually prefer driving the truck than the car because I can see better out of it. I'm just kind of a truck kind of girl. Scott says he never knows when I have access to a truck what might be jerked up in the yard and moved. I used to like jerk up whole bushes and stuff, and he'd come home and the landscape would be totally different. So yeah, I'm a truck girl. I just can't work as hard as I used to. It's very disappointing and discouraging at times. But others have it worse, so I'm not going to complain. It's just frustrating. All right, now let's put some on this one. But the problem with the car right now, the reason the check engine light keeps coming on is we ran over a low area and it hit the bottom of the car. And what it did is on the top of the tank, you know, where it comes down, where the gas comes down into the tank, we have a crack in the gas, the throat of the gas tank. And the gas tank alone is like $600. And then you've got to add in the labor to do it. And to do it, they have to basically take the whole carriage off the bottom of the car. So we're like, no, forget it. We'll just use the car as our trade-in. If we only get $500, it'll be just $500 that we haven't spent on it. Scott says he's hoping they'll give us $1,000, but I'm really doubting that. We've already put a transmission in it. And we learned our lesson on that because we put a transmission in my Buick Lucerne, because I had a Buick Lucerne before we got the silver one for Scott when I was working. And I drove to New York in that by myself. I drove up to Cary, North Carolina when their Joann's was doing a full remodel. I went up and worked on that remodel overnight. Stayed up there for several days working overnights to do that shift. And I've done some other store remodels too. Helped work on them, put it that way. Yeah, we've done the, when Greg was little, we had just one car. And if I needed it, I would just take Scott to work for the day and then go back and get him later in the day. We've done that. But we do like having the truck because, you know, we do go to Lowe's and that kind of thing. And if we had to rent one of the U-Haul trucks, that's, you know, that's money. So we do like having the second vehicle, but you're right. It is pricey. The insurance has gone nutso. We've been checking. We checked with Farmers and they told us a policy with them would be $6,000 for a year. I'm sorry, Farmers. That's ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. $6,000. Bloomin' heck. Now, when Scott's not needing transportation, you know, to get to a job or anything, and we just would need it. When he's home, we travel together. So there really is no reason to have two cars if we were both at home. But we ain't there yet. I want to use all these little pieces. Let's put some up here. We're getting a very interesting background. I hope it does something to knock it back a little bit because it's a little on the in your face business here. Oh, word. All right. We'll clean some of that goopy up. And then I'm going to sit down and read the next prompt. I do wipe this off, but it still sticks. I think Dee Dee puts a piece of plastic in hers. All right, so I'll keep my scraps because we might need something more. All right, next prompt. Prompt 3 says, oh my gosh, use Painty Paper. Use Painty Paper. I'm going to be literal. I'm going to go with exactly what I'm pulling here. All right. And I have some tissuey kind of painty paper here. And this is, what's that? Deli paper. All right, so I've just folded it so it's about the size. And then I'll just tear it there. And tear it there. And I'm just going to cover the whole thing with this. That'll knock it back. Oh, wow. Hi, Janet Nash. All right. You see what I got? It's going away now. I should grab a roll of paper towels. And I got way too much out, but it'll be all right. And make sure we're not gluing to the... Sorry, guys. Something's tickling my throat. Cold coffee without any other flavors to it? That's just weird. This is what happens when you draw a bunch of stuff that's all glue it down. It gets glued down. All right, so just stick this down here. Okay, and we'll do the canvas. So Scott got to his friend that's in his 80s that was a antique radio restorer. His health has been kind of bad. So what he's doing is he's trying to sell off his collection. And there was a ham radio that Scott always loved and wanted. So he's buying it from his friend. So he went to visit him yesterday and picked that up. So I got to get him some money so he can pay Gerald out of the bank, because Scott just doesn't have the time to get to the bank and that kind of thing, especially on Mondays, Tuesdays, and Thursdays when he's doing both jobs. And I kind of need to pick up some groceries. Ugh, I hate grocery shopping. It's no fun. It's just food. I used to love to grocery shop. Now I hate it. And I used to buy a chocolate bar as my reward, but now I can't eat all that sugar because it makes me ill. That looks kind of interesting. I think it's showing the flowers up better on this because the background wasn't brown like it was on this piece of cardboard. And I will trim all the loose off after a while. You still can see some of the flowers under there, but not many. All right. Well, I used Painty Paper. How about them? Hi, Peg. Oop, that's not a wet one. That's just wiping more glue on myself. Hang on. All right. This is my D&D prompt cards, but I don't think we're going to have time to do 12 prompts. So we'll go maybe to 10. or we might decide it's where it needs to be at 8. We'll see. So prompt 4 says markers. Markers. Now, you know I'm going to have to dry this, right? Because there's no way I'm setting a marker on all of that. And heat gun needs to be plugged in. Yeah, I think I overdid this weekend. But we about got the fence put. That high wind the other day snapped 2 of the posts on our rotten section of fence that, you know, needed to be dealt with about, 5 years ago. But Scott's been putting it off and putting it off. I said, well, no putting it off anymore. All right, I don't quite reach all the way over here, so I'm going to have to grab these and hold it in my hand. All right. Got us a nice full house this morning. Good morning, you guys. 14 people in a full house on a Monday morning. It sure is. You ask me. So I'm going to kind of hang in my recliner most of today. Probably watch on the big TV and work on my Afghan. I got to get that Afghan finished. And I have to remember I have to take Bernadette out because she can't go out on her own right now because she'd be out of, and a blind deaf dog loose in the neighborhood is not a good thing. But I am prepared that we won't get the gate finished until next weekend because, quite frankly, it's just too exhausting, just our regular schedule. So I'll be taking her out and she'll get to hang with me more, which she'll enjoy that. There we go. Now let's see if I can get this piece of cardboard here. Because I am trying to make a more flexible one that I can mail at just first class rate to go out of the United States. I loved it. When I went to the post office about these 5x7 canvases, the guy said, okay, mind you, it's just as it is, just exactly as it is. And I hand it to him with the address on it. And he's like, what is this? It's a flat canvas that's been painted on. What do you mean? What is it? It is what it is. I was just a little flabbergasted. It's like, you can't tell what that is. I've got some areas that are kind of bubbled on this. That's texture, right? Markers is the prompt. Markers. Whoop. I'm gonna have to move that over there. Okay. All right, let me see. I'm gonna let you out when I get finished. I have a king size Sharpie. I don't know if I want to ruin the tip on it though. I think this one's pretty pristine too, but I'm just gonna do something down here with the Sharpie. Just maybe some mark making, because why not? Sometimes it's just little teeny marks can make the thing interesting. Well, that's cool. Oh, there's Pam. Pam, I was telling them about your toucan you did in Craft and Chat that turned out so cool. I guess I could quickly show my pulls from that process that we did. That was a lot of fun. It took a long time to do all that, and you had to think about. I tried to tell everybody it's just like glass painting. When you are painting what's in the foreground and working your way back, it's a whole different thought process. You have to think about whatever goes on last in real life goes on in reverse when you're doing reverse painting. That looks all right for markers. How big is the king size? It's not all that much bigger. My sister and her husband, they're having a blast at Disney. They went for Star Wars days, and they've bought themselves a red robot, and they've been going to all the different Star Wars cantinas and that kind of stuff, and having a blast, sitting on Cocoa Beach. She needed a break. She's had some health concerns, so I'm glad she took the time. Oh, almost forgot this one. Well, you know what? I think I prefer this size of this fat chisel tip over this king size Sharpie. I got this, I think, at Lowe's or Home Depot. And I thought, oh, that'll be huge, but it's not really any bigger than this. Good to know. Yeah, it might turn back up, or who knows. The danger with sending raw art that's outside the box is there's thieves too, unfortunately. So I'm going to quickly show you the ones that I did Thursday in Craft and Chat. I have added some doodles. So let's see. The first thing I did was the girl. Let's see here. And I did a pull with printer paper. So that was my first one. And then I did a second pull, and I got this, which looks kind of cool. And then my third pull was this one. And what we did is we built up the colors with Posca on that. So those were my girl. And then I said, well, Pam's toucan turned out so cool. I'll do a turtle. So my first pull was, no, that wasn't the first one. This one was. That was the first. And I've brought the lines out again and did some doodling. And then that was my second pull, which I actually like the second better than the first. And then the last pull was this one. And a lot of this is doodle with Posca on top of the pull. But I thought those were a lot of fun to do. So if you've never done that, you put an image under your gel plate and you paint with Posca, but think glass painting. You have to do it in reverse. And once everything gets dry, then you put a thin coat of paint and do a pull. And you'll get up to 3 pulls from the one time of painting on it. It is a lot of fun, but it does take a lot more time. I love the turtle too, Jen. All right, next prompt, back to this. Number 5. What are we going to do next? Let's not it be paper. No paper. Green. That's all it says. And I'm going to use some paint. And I'm just going to scrape some green on here. Just in random places. Green. Just any green. Whoops, there goes a paintbrush. Bernie, do you want to get out of your crate? I can. Hang on, guys. I'm going to put the cat food up and give Bernie her breakfast. She'll eat the cat food that hit the floor, too. She's a good cleanup device, the dog is. All right, Bernie. You want to get out and wander around, honey? Out this way. No, not there. Come on. There you go. She has to find the opening. All right, I'm just going to put a little paint just on my brayer. Not brayer, on my scraper. And I got it on the wrong side. That's okay. Always keep in mind, these prompts are meant to be just a small indication because you have so many prompts you do. You don't want to put a ton of any one thing or it'll just be solid whatever. And because I've got all that texture under there, this paint is spreading kind of cool. And if you put it on thin, it dries quick. All right, there's my green. Okay. Peg's got to go make some breakfast for Ron. All right, so that was my green. Number 7 says, oh, add scribbles. So again, I'm going to have to dry this some. Hi, Bernie. You can hear her nails. It's time for a trim. She needs a bath anyway, so next month I'll take her for her grooming appointment. She goes about every 2 to 3 months at $100 a pop. I get them to do everything while she's there. And she likes Miss Candy, so I drive to Lexington to go to that PetSmart, even though the one over off Garner's Ferry Road is closer. And I could go to Michael's over there, because Michael's is next door to that one. Not the one I worked at, but the new one that flooded the first week they opened that new location, because the little creek went way out of its banks. Flooded the whole store. Can you just imagine the loss that was? Whew. I made Scott yellow grits and an egg this morning. That medicine makes it so he can't eat as much as he used to, so he couldn't eat it all. scribbles. Hey, what should we scribble with? I could scribble with water-soluble crayons. Hi, Janet. Good morning. All right. I got my scribble sticks right here. So what color should we scribble with? Let's see. To make it look more spring, I could do these greens. Just scribble with some of these greens. And then depending on if we get some water or not. It said to scribble. I scribbled. Woohoo! It's number 7. There was the scribbling. I'm trying to keep my supplies out that I used in case I need to use some more to add to it. Number 7 says white. All right. Baby, come back. Bernie, this way. Hey, come back. Come on. She can't hear me. I don't know why I'm talking to her. Bernie, come here. She's being nosy. A nosy Nelly. Off doing her own thing. What if we take and put some white down and then wipe it with a baby wipe? It'll make that green move. Let's see. So if we do this, and then use my hand. That'll get that green to move a little bit. And then we just wipe it back with this. So it's got kind of a green hinge hint to it. I know it's crazy. You put all this white on and then you wipe most of it back off. But hey, it's a technique, right? Okay. Ooh, making a mess. I don't want to wipe it all off. There we go. Get another wipe from me. Oh, I might get quite a few prompts on here. Oh, my word. Oh, I forgot I had that Band-Aid on for all my splinters. Those cheapy fence posts, they'll eat you up. It's all in the wrist. All right, so we'll leave the white out because I might need some more of that. I'd love to do, since we're using the Dirty Dozen prompt cards, I'd like to do 12 prompts. So let's see. We got, what, 5 left to do. And then I'll add whatever focal image. I think before I do the focal image, I'm going to trim anything that's hanging off. Whew. I think I might take this Band-Aid off. It looks weird underneath, but it's got paint under it, and I don't think that's good for where the slivers were. Yeah, it'll look weird until I get pink again. All right, number 8 says, add lace. Don't know if I want to do that. I'm going to write it down here, and I'm going to be bad. I'm going to go against what I said earlier. And I'm going to pull an alternate because I plan to mail these, and I don't really want to glue lace down. Add a napkin. So add lace or a napkin. Add a napkin. Well, it's going to have lots of layers on it. Hey, Bernie, can Mama get by? Can Mama get by? She says, what? Huh? Oh, how fitting. This is one of those that you only get one image per the napkin. Yep, so we're going to need 2 napkins to do what we're going to do here. The only thing about me doing 2 of these is 2 people will get kind of similar ones. Okay, save that. Because we just had Easter, apparently we're doing bunnies. All right. Safi is done with the decorating. Woohoo! Although, you know what I could do now? Since these are going to be mailed as postcards, we could turn this way. Like that now. So they would look like giant postcards. If you don't want the eggs and you want just the bunny, we could cut those out. And then it could be just spring instead of Easter. We could do that. Let's cut the eggs off from here. Probably should have done it with water and then, but if I put a quote there, it won't matter, right? Maybe I can rip them and it would look better. Let's see. Okay. Trying to get the layers off here. There we go. All right. Stick the bunny down. Nope, he's going to have to go over here. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Bernie, honey, you're going to have to sit down. She's an old lady dog, and she likes to pace and pace and pace and pace and pace and pace. She's never still unless she's sleeping and pooting. All right. She's clearing her nose for something. She's found something she wants to sniff. Dogs are so funny. I missed his eye area a little bit. Oh, what was the quote I saw last night that just struck me as hilarious? It said something about like, I'm not the embrace the day sort of person. I'm the type of person that likes to poke it with a stick. It's like, okay, that's different. All right, good enough. So these two will be bunnies. Oh, what's Heather doing? I'm trying to coax a second cup out of my toast and jam tea bag. Then I'm going to drink it on the sunny deck. I'm solar powered and basically have all the day's chores done. Time to play. Wow. I haven't even made my bed, Heather. So I got to do laundry today. Yeah. Enjoy your tea. Next, yellow. Let's stencil with some yellow. Like sunshine. And of course the dog's right where I need to be. Bernie, I'm going to step over you. Don't freak out. She's like, too late. I'm freaking out. Why are you stepping over me? Let's see if I can get a doily stencil out here. Nope, that's not up. Getting ready to crash. Oh my goodness. Doilies. Come on. Where are you? Let's use this right here because it already has yellow on it. I got yellow paint out. I need a sponge. And I thought I had some here. I do. I love you too, Howard. You are so pretty. He just looks at me with so much love. He's just the sweetest cat ever. So I got these. These were from Amazon. I don't know if they still have them or not. And I'm just going to put some yellow paint on the spare canvas. So it'll have a start of yellow. So I'm going to have two canvases basically started. But I don't know what I did with the other one. That's why we're doing something new. Let's just put this up here. Like sunshine shining down on the bunny. Bernie, honey, please lay down. Sorry if I'm stamping you. Doesn't show up very good. Maybe it's too much yellow. That was the prompt, yellow. I can always bring some of this out if I want to with, you know, outlining or whatever. Or if not, it can just be in the background. I've used the yellow. And I didn't get a jar of water to throw this sponge in. So it's got some yellow on it. Grab my jug, put some water in it. Oh, Scott didn't drink a second cup of coffee. I could have that. So it's going to kind of cook down at this point. I wish they could see you, Howard, and your mannerisms and how you look at me. You're so funny. There's Anne. Good morning, Anne. All right, number 10. This is becoming one very overworked canvas, but I'll pull it together in the end. I always do. Number 10 says, add a silhouette. Okay, we'll put that on here. I'm going to pull an alternate for that one, and it is washi tape. I'll do the washi tape. The alternate for add a silhouette is add washi tape. And what you can do, I might still do add the silhouette, but not really, because what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some brown paint when this is dry, and I'm just going to paint over the bunny, kind of follow all of the colors that are on there, and just kind of solidify him with a little paint at the end. We need something springy. It's not too... Oh, I like that springy green. So I've got this, and this really matches better. So we're going to put some of that on there. Let me get some glue, because I don't trust the washi. I do love you. Yes. You are such a sweet boy. Yes, you are. All right, I get my baby bot out here. This has got Scotch Quick Dry glue, and this just broke off. It used to have a strap here, and I just found it annoying. But you're supposed to be able to stick the top there when you're not using it. But the strap was just impossible, so I took it off. I'm going to put a little bit of glue. There we go. Across the bottom here. And here. Like so. And of course, I can't find the end. I've already put the glue down. Find the end before you put your glue down. Oh my word, I can't. Don't knock those around, Howard, you crazy cat. There we go. I found it. And I'm just going to stick this on here. like so. I had way too much glue. Oh, it's moving. And I'm going to put a sealer on these so this will stick down eventually. I'm not worried that this isn't straight at all. Just wish I hadn't put so much glue down. There we go. That's going to be the washi tape. Number 11 and 12. Book text. Can I locate some book text? That'll be the issue. And that'll cover up this area here. Just put a little book text and I can put my quote on top of the book text. Let me see if I can find something. Did you put yourself back to bed, honey? Oh, here's some book text. I don't need a lot anyway. Just stick that down there. This has got a lot of stuff stuck to it. That's for sure. Okay. Probably going to take forever to dry. It's going to need time to dry before I do any additional painting, that's for sure. This will give me an area to put my quote on. And I'm going to wait for it to totally dry before I try to cut any of the excess paper and stuff off. I'll just put it somewhere to dry. And I am going to just kind of dry brush in to bring the bunny out a little bit more when I get to that point. But it's going to have to dry. So y'all will just have to wait and look for the pictures of it. Been drunk then, almost falling down. But I don't know what this book... They're both married. Well, Rose semi-separated. Wife stays home in Virginia. He gets around. Tends to something too much. Probably drink too much. At Row on the monitor, he was the same. Gotten on the elevator with us earlier in the evening. Had been drunk then, almost falling down. Wow, that's something to put on here. And then this page says, he wasn't drunk now. And Morton, supposedly he's Mr. Clean, ex-athlete, health food, family man. Morton's big area is science and technology, the environment, American competitiveness, American values, all that. But he can't be that something. Heard he has a young girlfriend. Is that right? Well, I don't know what book that came out of, but there you go. Your interesting read of the day. All right, there's my book pages. And the last prompt for this very embellished piece is bubble wrap. Bubble wrap. I do love you, Howard. You're so precious. If you could just see the love this cat has for me in his eyes, it's just hilarious. It is hilarious. Okay. Now, don't get crazy. You're going to fall out and spill something. I'm going to quit talking to you if you're going to be crazy. I'm going to spread this out on this palette. Just spread it so it's all nice and smooth. And then I'm just going to plop my bubble wrap in it. And let's bubble wrap on the writing. There you go. I'll just set that to dry. And then I'll just paint this background pink. I'm just spreading with a spreader. Use all that pink up that I put out there. And if I can find the other started canvas, I'll have a set ready to go for next week that will have like the first prompt or two done on it. And this one will have a pink background. I think the other one has a purple and aqua background. And we'll set this somewhere safe like I did the other one. And I'm going to add a quote. I'm going to bring the bunny out. I'll probably put a border on it. You know, I'll come up with some other ways to pull these all together. Borders always help. This is way too wet to add anything more to it anyway. So that's our prompt game. Did anybody play along or did you write the prompts down? It'll all come together in the end. In fact, where I overdid with the pink, I'll just paint over that and maybe even paint the bunny back on this area just to bring him out more. Yeah, Howard's just a big lovey cat. He loves attention and he loves to give attention. Tippy just wants me to lay still or sit still so he can sit on me. And Callie, it's on her terms only. So every single one is different. And saying hello to everybody. And Heather's going to try to do some postcards. And I did look it up. The standard size for a postcard is what, 4.5 by 5 or something like that. But postcards come in other sizes too. And you can make them bigger because if you think about the political postcards, how big are they when they come in? And they get postcard rate on those. Postcard sizes. And I mailed these, so yeah, the post office says they have to be rectangular, at least 3.5 by 5. And then they say no more than 4.25 by 6. But I've seen larger postcards than that. Make sure your postcard is no larger than 6 1/8 by 11 1/2 and 1/4 inch thick. Mail piece is larger than any of those dimensions, and you'll have to pay flats. Pay flats, large envelope postage prices. So these are 5 by 7. That falls within the 6 1/8 by 11 1/2. You just got to stay, in that 1/4 inch or less thickness, which these are. And yep. So there you go. There's some new information to know. So I'll turn these so they're facing you. And I will be playing with these, like I said, and I'll be bringing the bunny more toward the front. And the edges will all get trimmed when it's dry. So if you played along, thank you for playing along. And if you're going to play along later, I'd love to see what you come up with in my group. Partners were assigned for those doing the boho swap. And it's a unique way that we had to do it because we only had 7 people. So all you have to focus on is who you are mailing to. Don't focus about who you're getting from, or you'll mix them up in your mind. And you're not receiving from the person you're sending to. That's the only way I could think to do it, and everybody get something different from somebody else. All right. And Heather says she liked that method because it's like a big circle of creative love. Yep. Yep. I don't mind doing the decorating, but when the season or holiday or whatever is over with, then you got to take it all down again. But it does make for a happier season to have it up there. Aw, thanks, Jen. So I'll have to go looking for springish quotes, and I'm going to paint a border and bring the bunny to life with some paint. And so everything will be kind of in the background except the bunny and the quote, which I'll probably put the quote up here because the bunny kind of looks like he's looking up at it. So these need time to dry. I need to crochet on my Afghan. I've got to get all this paint off me before I start on that. And Dee Dee will be on at 8:30, and then Janet Nash will be on at 9. If you just want to have somebody in the background, that's what I do on days I'm busy. I just put whoever's live on, and then if I hear something or if they mention me, I'll come in and type a response. So anyway, have a great week, everybody. I hope this got you started on a positive note, and I'll see you on Wednesday right after Ann Lar between 1:15 and 1:30. Okay? Bye, guys.